India made a number of bilateral advances at the G7 just concluded here in Apulia in the south of Italy, principally with host Italy, but on the other hand managed to open its doors wider to a transatlantic dip in relations that could more than undo some of those gains. Those gains with Italy have been without doubt as impressive as they appear promising. Prime Ministers Modi and Meloni clearly hit it off, and they had the most productive meeting of all the bilaterals that the Indian PM had. Meloni, let's not forget, is on a high. Her Brothers of Italy party gained hugely in the just concluded EU elections with the vote share 4 times higher than in the last election in 2019. She is being spoken of as the bridge maker in Europe, even the kingmaker already. A great leader, certainly for India to have on its side in tricky times emerging in Europe. The warmth between Meloni and Modi was obvious, it was palpable. She has in the past, on a visit to India, spoken of Modi as the world's most loved leader, and she could be right, whatever one's views on Modi. Given just how many people there are in India and how many voted for Modi despite some reduction, and if you can think of the vote as some sort of expression of political love, then that's a higher endorsement for Modi than for any other world leader that could be verifiably measured. On the other end from Meloni, on the down end of the India spectrum at the G7 was none other than the US. The Indian PM had one bilateral meeting after another, but with Biden, nothing more than a fleeting photo op. How did that happen? US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan had announced on the eve of G7 that President Biden expects to see Prime Minister Modi at the G7, and he did not appear to think that when he says he expects, he means some sort of passing by. He made it clear that the Pannu case would be raised. He said this is a matter of continuing dialogue at very senior levels and that the US has made its views on this known. Given that keenness and the expressed keenness from the US, it's not clear why a bilateral with Biden did not get scheduled. India has been boasting of ever closer ties with the US, and in the end, after all the bilateral meetings that happened with Meloni, with Macron, Olaf Scholz, Rishi Sunak, Zelensky, Ishida, the enduring fallout could arise from the one that did not happen with the US. India had announced an inquiry into the Pannu indictment, and that was indictment by a grand jury in the US in which an Indian official is accused of leading a criminal plot to assassinate Pannu. Little has emerged as the outcome of any such inquiry. Concerns are arising now that India could be counting on a delay working for it. At least 4 pitfalls lie along that path of continuing delay. One, that the Biden administration will just live with such a delay through its present term. All the indications are that it will not. Second, it is not certain that Trump will replace Biden come November. A felony conviction now hangs above Trump. Third, it is not certain either that if Trump is at all elected, his administration would necessarily do more for India as India wants than a Biden administration currently is prepared to do. Finally, and not least, the matter could be out of the hands of any US government. It would become a matter for the courts. They don't spare their own president. Why would they go out of their way to spare one accused Indian? We should know soon enough whether the Indian government's current tactics have managed to get it smartly past a mess, or whether India has taken some missteps along a path that could prove very damaging to relations with the US.